Hello everyone, today you will hear an interesting story. Jesus and Natalie loved Maria and tried to do everything he could for her. And life was going quite smoothly. One thing nodded in Anatoly. As a child he had contracted the mumps, and the doctors had branded him infertile. And Maria kept talking about having children. She wanted them very much. Big for a long time, and Natalie hesitated to tell her, and so he felt guilty. And as time passed, the guilt increased, but eventually it faded into the background as the wedding preparations began. It was 6 months after Anatoly and Maria had met. Anatoly was working as a programmer in an IT company and was making good money, so he could have arranged a lavish feast with lots of guests. He did not. Oh, need to waste extra, he told Maria. She did not object. In the hectic preparations for the wedding and in the days after, he suddenly had completely forgotten what he had wanted to say to his now legitimate wife. These thoughts surfaced when a week later Anatoly was sent on an urgent business trip to the capital. All right, he decided, I'll tell her when I get back. And on his return, his life was turned upside down. The started. I'm pregnant, his wife told him and smiled widely. Anatoly's eyes widened. Pregnant? Yes, Maria continued to smile broadly. Aren't you happy? What month? And the 4th. I'll be right back. Natalie went to his study, found a medical card in a drawer, and returned to his wife here. He tossed the card on the table. Infertility. Maria slowly read the doctor's conclusion. Surprise. Anatoly grinned victoriously. The wife's eyes flickered around the room as if searching for shelter. Who is he? Anatoly asked calmly. Aye, who is he? Anatoly raised his voice. Could it be that the doctors made a mistake? Pretending to be a fool. Maria asked. Who is he? Answer. Well, he's a former classmate of mine. We used to go out after school for a while, and then life separated us. And recently we met again. You were on another business trip. We had a few drinks, and then he invited me back to his place, and then... Oh, I don't remember much else, but now you know what happened that day. Thanks the whore, Anatoly growled. So what do you want me to do now? Do you want me to have an abortion? I will, no abortions. As it happened, we will bring up this child. But remember, it won't be like before. And how will it be? Tell. Don't raise your voice. Don't raise your voice to me. Got it? Anatoly barked. Why are you yelling? At least I have never cheated on you. So how will life be then? Maria asked in a calm, even threatening voice. The baby is going to be born, and we are going to raise him as if I were the real father, not a punk who got fooled by his wife. It really wasn't like before. The scandals had increased and romance was out of the question. The marriage was bursting at the seams. Not even a child was a reason for a peaceful life. It was a good thing little Sershik didn't understand anything yet. It didn't happen right away though. First, the long months of worrying about pregnancy, then a night, contractions, maternity leave, and after a while a boy was born. They decided to name him Sergei shortly before his birth. Since then, a new life began for Anatoly. He moved home from the huge, spacious office, filled with the clamor of his colleagues and the coolness of the air conditioning. The boss shrugged his shoulders at the time. Why not let the employee go off on a remote job, as it happens, and wrote out permission. "Good luck, father." Anatoly bowed like a Japanese and went home. Now, apart from his main tasks writing software code, Anatoly spent a lot of time on Sershik. He had to feed him and also prepare various baby formulas, as his wife had lost her milk. In addition, other housework, cleaning, and the like had to be done as well. Maria, in turn, continued to work in her canteen. She was a cook. Maria returned home late, had dinner, and went to bed. She did not talk to Anatoly, and he did not want to. He had enough to take care of his son. This went on for a year. Then the day came when Maria came home from work and yelled, "I'm so sick of this," and threw a purse in the corner. "Hush, Sergei's asleep," Anatoly said in a high-pitched whisper. "You're always talking about Sergei and don't even think about me." Isatli's eyes widened, just like the day he had found out his wife was pregnant. "Masha, you wanted a child yourself. We had a scandal about it, remember? I wish I'd had an abortion after all. It would have been better if your mother had done it. You've been buzzing my ears about how nice it would be to have a son or daughter, and then you got pregnant from God knows who, not from God knows who, but from a former classmate." "It's from God knows who." Anatoly pressed on these words in his voice and continued to reproach his wife. "So, you got pregnant. I agreed to bring up this child. I started working remotely. At the same time, I take care of the house and so on, and it is not enough for you." "Well, explain it to me. What more do you want?" "I want you to pay more attention to me instead of taking care of the kid. So come home early from work. I've got a day to feed the baby, do the grocery shopping, cook food for us, clean the house, debut the software code." "I'm not a robot, damn it. I'm a human being. And tired too. No programming. Maria Snygard is an easy job. You type some numbers and letters, and that's it. What's in your stupid head? What you really need is for this code to be understood by the computer and to execute certain commands. But why am I explaining it to you? You wouldn't understand a damn thing anyway. You're as dumb as a cork." "Am I stupid?" Leah shrieked. "Look after yourself." At that moment, there was crying coming from the nursery. "I've been tucking him in for an hour," Anatoly bellowed softly. "And you ruined everything with your shrieking?" "Well, as always, a go upsikairn. I do not need a child, but you will raise him. Believe? I'll make you do that. And he'll never know I'm not his biological father. Do you understand? Fuck you. Sooner or later." Anatoly got up from the table and went to the nursery. That's how it's been since then. Scandals almost every night. But man is a creature who gets used to everything. Italy also got used to everything, to his wife's blunt phrases, to the constant need to answer clearly and quietly so as not to disturb his son. He made a more comfortable bed for Sergei, put a special seal around the door so that his wife's cries did not penetrate into the room. But he continued to work like a sod. His son had to have a good future. Alas, this could not be done without money. Boo, there was a limit to everything, even to a man's patience. The scandals got worse and worse. But the longer it went on, the more excessive his wife allowed herself. Now Anatoly was also shouting. Hence, if before the seal on the door in the children's room saved the son from unnecessary noise, now it did not. Even Sergei was not a baby himself. He used to run around the flat, often staying with his father when he was working. Sergei was not yet aware that it was not his father, but his stepfather. He did not pay any attention to his mother. Dutifully, his son's behavior was a great comfort to Anatoly's ego. You see, he mentally said to his wife, "Even your own son is clinging to me, but not to you, you stupid slut." Anatoly grinned to himself. After all, if it hadn't been for Maria's behavior, he wouldn't have had a son. Yes, Sergei is not biological son, but it's his son. As time passed, Anatoly decided it was time to call it a day. When Sergei turned 4, he said, remembering Sergei's real father, who obviously didn't want the boy. "Boy, enough. I'm sick of this. Go back to your classmate and stay out of my life." "And please, with pleasure," Maria said proudly. "Besides, I've just met Senka." "Who?" I totally didn't understand. "A classmate who was my boyfriend shortly after school, you idiot." "Does he know about my son?" Maria's enthusiasm faded a little. "No, he doesn't know." "You tell him." Anatoly grinned. "But go on right now." Akio and Maria cried defiantly. Anatoly rolled his eyes. It wasn't the first time his wife had had such tantrums. In the end, Maria left the house, slamming the door, and Anatoly and Sergei were alone. "That's all right," Anatoly thought, looking at his son. "I'll make sure you have a good life." His wife returned only in the morning, cheerful, smelling of new perfume. "Did you spend the night with Senka again?" She grinned slyly. "Shame on Sergei if you don't care about me," Anatoly said, but quietly, so as not to disturb his son, who was playing in his room. "He and I will go to Senka's house tonight." Of course, Senka won't be very happy. This dog left his 2 children and wife a couple of years ago. But what can I do? I have no choice. "Did you tell him?" "Told him what?" "And that he's Sergei's biological father." "No, I don't have to tell him. It's his son anyway." "Listen, Asha, you go wherever you want, but don't touch Sergei." "And how will you stop me?" "You don't even know what I'm capable of. So prove it, smart guy." "Sergei and I are off." "Seryoshenka, get dressed, we're leaving." Sergei came out of the nursery and asked, "Oh, where are we going?" "I don't want to go without Daddy." He snuggled up to Anatoly. He said, Akhality said quietly but firmly, "You're not going anywhere, at least not you." "Sergei, go to your room and I need to talk to someone." Sergei smiled and disappeared into the room. Maria was about to shout something to her son, but Anatoly said, "Leave him alone and listen to me." Once again, you can go even to hell, but leave Sergei alone. You didn't take care of him all these 4 years. All you've been doing is throwing a spanner in my wheelhouse all the time. No, darling, Sergei stays with me. You're not his father. You're nothing to Sergei. Nobody. Vitaly is furious. I'm nobody. You're nobody, even though you gave birth to him. And I have never left Sergei's side. And yet, if anything happens, the court will side with me and you won't get a son who's not even a son to you at all. Shut up already. As for the trial, well, we'll see whose side is right. Yeah, Maria grinned wickedly. We'll see. But if anything happens, blame yourself. Keep your son and go away. I will. Answer only one more question. Why do you need Sergei now? You said earlier that you don't need him. He meant to make you angry, you idiot. But you're right. I don't need him. And if Senka won't accept him, he'll go straight to boarding school. Goodbye. And Maria left the house. The next day, Anatoly asked his neighbor to look after Sergei and rushed to the office. Fortunately, colleagues in an IT company had suggested good lawyers, and they helped to resolve the issue with the child. In the end, Sergei stayed with his stepfather, and Maria went to her classmate Senka. However, she had one problem. After Sergei was born, the doctors forbade her to have children. Maria grieved at first, but then accepted it. In addition, Senka convinced her that not having children was better. She could live her life to the fullest. What he meant by these words is anyone's guess, but hardly anything good. Anatoly, for his part, remarried. His new wife, Katya Dubnova, accepted Sergei as her own son and was happy to take care of him. Anatoly reassured his son that it was his real mother, just that she had returned from a very distant business trip. As for Maria, he lied that she was his negligent sister, who was not to be dealt with. Her explanation was silly, of course, but at first the boy had no questions. Sergei learned the truth at the age of 15. No, he was not offended or even upset. He just smiled with the tips of his lips and said, "You are the dearest people in the world to me anyway. And I love you." Dear listeners, your support is very important to us. If you like our story, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's very motivating for us. We need your feedback to improve our content.